Hey everyone, I'm back. It's been like 2 months. This has been a weird 2 months, I know, for all of us. I hope you guys got some gaming in. I've got some in. I did finally get upgraded to the 4K world, so that's really awesome for me. I hope you guys are in that world as well. Video games have been changed a lot, actually. Everything's canceled, as I said last episode, which is forever ago. E3's been canceled, Gamescom canceled. It seems like games are canceled up until first quarter next year, so I don't know. But I hope you and yours are doing well, and welcome to another Castle podcast where we don't have your princess, but we do have your podcast. Guys, I got lots of news for you guys, so let's do it. Let's talk about this. I'm excited. Hello everyone, I'm glad to be back. I hope you guys are still listening. I did get a pretty good amount of plays during this little break we've had while everyone's been in quarantine, which is pretty cool. Wish I could have pumped out more episodes. Just kind of been grinding day to day, doing stuff. Everything's kind of changed. I know, cat. Oh yeah, I got a cat. That's changed since the last podcast. So, or did it? Did I get him? I got him 2 months ago. Episode was March. Yeah, I got him right around that time. I think possibly a little bit after. But no, just been doing that stuff. Work's changed, formats have changed, stuff's changed, so it's just been blah. News has been scarce. I really just didn't feel like putting out 10-minute long episodes. Unless that's something people would be into. You know, just update a couple times a week. Maybe do a big one for one story. I'm not sure. Even though I've been doing this for a little while, I'm still trying to figure it out. So if anyone has suggestions, hit us up on Facebook or Instagram or Twitter or the Anchor app or anywhere you can see another castle. One of the streams. For some reason, I'm trying to change my Twitch over so I don't lose any of my information. So for now, the Another Castle Twitch is still twitch.tv/ or is it twitch.com? It's one of those. Twitch.com, twitch.tv. Either one will get you there, I'm pretty sure. With Zarnold85, no, Zarnold1985 as the URL for that. So it's ZARNOLD 1985. And then Another Castle Gaming for Mixer. If we're on there. You can watch past streams, stuff like that. Since I'm trying to keep everything, I've been trying this experiment out, including with this podcast, to keep everything off of computers, off of specifically a desktop or laptop PC, computer, Mac, whatever. So I've been streaming on Mixer. Now, you can stream on Twitch with Xbox still. It's just the wonky now because it used to be the built-in preferred thing. Now you have to, it's kind of a workaround with the app on Xbox, and it's just exponentially easier, and there's more tools to go on Mixer. So with Xbox, I tend to stream on Mixer, and since Xbox lets me use whatever camera I want, I got a nice high-def Logitech that's on top of my TV. So when I stream on Mixer, you can see my face and all that kind of fun stuff. With Twitch, I have to have the PlayStation camera. I've not purchased it yet for my PS4. I will, because I do want to get VR. So then I'll be able to have my stupid mug on that. So that's why if you watch any, like right now, I'm pounding through some Spider-Man DLC that I bought a while ago when it was on sale, and I I want to jump back in that world, especially in these Corona times. Really, really like it. I really like that game, the atmosphere. It's great. It's a fucking great game. But yeah, streaming all that kind of fun stuff. Been trying to stream a lot to make up for lack of podcasts, lack of news. I mean, it just doesn't make sense for me to record a whole episode of this is the thing that's canceled, or here's the 2 things that happened this week. So I felt like there was enough stories, enough nerd things happening besides just saying everything's canceled for me to pump out an episode and talk to you guys again, because I've missed it and it's been giving me anxiety to not do this. So I'm one of those people where I procrastinate and become anxiety ridden, even though I like doing it once I do it. Once I do it, like right now I'm recording, it feels so good. I feel it's like a therapy session. It feels great. I love talking about this stuff. I don't get a chance to talk with a lot of people about this stuff. Jared excluded. I talk to him almost daily about this stuff. But it's nice to get the word out there in a safe way where I feel like maybe I can connect with someone, inform someone, talk with someone. And I really appreciate anyone who's given me a listen over the past episodes. The last episode, the listens have been going up pretty decently. It was kind of surprising. I was really happy about that, so that's good. I'm happy. I'm glad someone enjoys this besides me. So, anyways, that was the rough intro. Besides the cool music intro, and then the typical intro music and all that stuff. Oh, I finally got the YouTube channel up. Now, granted, with YouTube, I'm gonna have to break down and start using my laptop for that. So there goes that. I did do the entire video, editing, publishing, the whole shebang, on my phone. Made the whole thing on my phone and then uploaded from my phone and all that fun stuff. So if you got a chance, it's another Castle Gaming, I think, over on YouTube. You got a little 30-second intro in there. You can recognize probably the intro music, and then you see my face and my animals and stuff. So that was fun to do, just to get on there. I do eventually, essentially, because since I'm using Anchor to record and publish, get my RSS feed established with that app, they are now offering the option to convert video files to audio. So I should be able to record the video and then just upload that video to Anchor, and then they'll automatically do it to put it to an MP3 format to where I can put it into an episode. Only problem is I edit in Anchor. My music and all my stuff's in there. So like the YouTube version would look kind of different. I would definitely. Oh no, get notifications. It's my fasting app. I know, you're screaming like a banshee. Oh. Sorry, cat. There we go. Forgot to turn off my notifications. That way you guys don't hear a bunch of crap go off. Anyways, no, I probably will have to utilize YouTube. Sirens brought to you from the River Valley in Ohio, next to the hospital. But no, I probably will have to utilize my computer to get the same kind of format, so that way it'll look the same as it sounds on the audio version. Or I could just have 2 versions. I could just do a long form version for the video, then have a cut version for the audio, maybe with like the little intros, music in between or something, and just pull the audio and cut it in the app. I'm still figuring this out. I could possibly do that. Just record one big long video, have that little intro in the beginning that I already have on my phone. Maybe do that intro. Could do something like that. We'll figure it out. I just figured out I could possibly somehow get a video version going. Even though, honestly, the audio version is going to probably be better because it's built in this digital world where I can have music cues and different fun stuff or whatever. Here, it's just me in my apartment, so you'd just be staring at my face. Now, guests and other stuff like that, maybe I'll throw those on the YouTube. Who knows? We'll see. the YouTube is established. So if you can go over there and subscribe, that'd be great. That way you can get some traffic going towards it, and get, a little bit more information on analytics and stuff like that. So that'd be cool. I'd appreciate it. It's free too. So those free things are always fun. Anyways, let's go ahead. I've got my notes. Things we're going to talk about today. Here we go. Here we go. There goes a motorcycle. We can talk about the PlayStation logo. That's fun. The 2 anniversaries out there at the thing. Oh my God, the Snyder cut. I actually started getting notes and get everything to do this episode the day I saw the Snyder cut information, and I just happened to get to it. Phil Spencer talking about games, Gamescom announcement, Microsoft announcement for what the E3 plans are going to be. If you guys are fans of Mafia, there's news about that. And then Tony Hawk. Yeah, why not Tony Hawk? Ubisoft talking about what they're doing. And then Paper Mario. Yeah, that got sprung on us. So, okay, there's some stories. We'll talk about it in just a second. Fun. Okay, now, I did have this one story. This is the one I know the most about, so we're going to start with it. The Snyder Cut. I know the HBO thing is very confusing. It is. To clarify all the HBO information as far as what is what they are talking about, all that kind of fun stuff. HBO has their basic channel. You have HBO. Then you have HBO Go, which is essentially an app that acts as on-demand for as a companion to your cable or satellite subscription. So if you have satellite, cable, Sling, whatever, and you have HBO, you pay for it on that. You can use the HBO app. Man, why is this still vibrating? I'm getting emails. People saying, "Oh boy." Oh, I know what I gotta do. Sorry, guys. I'm just gonna leave it in. It's live. There we go. What was that email for? Alaskan? What? I don't know. Something about Alaskan. Junk. Anyways. Okay, HBO. You have HBO, your subscription service. HBO Go acts as a companion, so you can use that app anywhere on your game system, your phone, whatever you have, right? Watch on demand, watch the next day, all that kind of stuff. It's just a really fun app that goes with that. HBO Now, which I'm not sure if that's going to... It still might stick around. I'm not sure why they would stick it around. But HBO Now was a standalone service like Netflix. You didn't need cable, satellite, whatever. You needed nothing but internet. And you could pay, and it was like $15 a month for HBO Now, and you had essentially what was HBO Go. And you didn't need anything else. No cable, no nothing, no Sling, no YouTube TV, no Hulu TV, no cable, no satellite, nothing. That was HBO Now. Now, what's coming out is HBO Max. Now, that has all the bells and whistles of HBO that you get with Now and Go and the channel and all that shit, right? You get all that stuff. But then you bring in Warner Brothers Entertainment and a couple other exclusives and stuff like that. And it's their answer to like a Netflix. It's kind of their answer more or less to Disney Plus, because they're going to have all the stuff like they normally have. Granted, Disney has all the movies. Plus they have all the fucking franchises. But HBO has a amazing back catalog of TV shows that they don't give to anything. Like Game of Thrones, you can buy it on every platform you want or whatever. But if you're trying to just stream it or whatever, no. So, go back, watch Sopranos, The Wire, Sex and the City. I mean, the list goes on. I loved Bored to Death. There's just so many good HBO shows, like classic, amazing HBO shows. And they keep coming out with them. So like that's where HBO kind of has their bread and butter, is their back catalog of TV shows. Like their TV shows are pretty fucking amazing. True Detective, Westworld, like just crazy shows that they can really fucking pick them. But you're gonna get all that shit plus all the Warner Brothers stuff. So like they're bringing all the Looney Tunes stuff and all the DC stuff, because Warner Brothers owns all that stuff. So, and all the DC live action and all that kind of stuff. So until up till now, there's been a couple things, and they've really just bought stuff. Like their biggest get was, hey, remember you watch Friends on Netflix? Well, guess what? You can't anymore. You have to watch Friends on HBO Max. That's been their biggest get so far. Then there's a rumor mill going around, which I guess is what a rumor mill is, about the Snyder Cut, which, if you don't know, Justice League was... Here's a brief background. Sorry if I bore you guys, but it makes more sense when you realize what happened. So Justice League is essentially part 3, even though it's supposed to be a bigger part of Snyder's DC world, which started with Man of Steel and then went to Batman versus Superman and then went to Justice League. Now, Justice League, he had originally slated a 4-hour cut. Now, what happened is he shot pretty much, I want to say 95 to 99% of everything he wanted to shoot. That's his words. And everything, for the most part, were done. There was some second unit stuff that was being finished up, and then something happened. Sadly, his daughter committed suicide. And so Warner Brothers gave him some time off. Like, I think it was about a month. He had time off, but about a month and a half after the suicide, he was officially allowed to step away from the project. And righteously so. Like, you know, that's an insanely horrible thing to happen to your adult daughter commit suicide, because him and his wife, I think Deborah Snyder's her name, could be wrong. She's a producing partner with Zach, so they essentially make movies together. So they were making all these movies, and so when they're doing Justice League, that happens, and he's allowed out to be done with that. Well, what essentially happens is Warner Brothers kind of says, well, we got to release the movie, like it still has to come out. So I'm not sure. This is the only part I'm not sure about, is who allowed it or cleared it, or if it was against Zach's rules or his wants or needs or whatever. But Josh Whedon comes in while they're still shooting, and he retools the script, and they do I think a couple weeks of reshoots, like right after principal photography was done, and he pretty much essentially retools the story. So that cut is released, and it was not perceived well, which I watched it, and it was fine. I mean, I want to watch it again. Actually, I've only seen it like once, maybe twice, so I do want to watch it again. But I'm just happy to see these characters on the screen. Now, I do like Cyborg, and he didn't really get his full story told. And, you know, I like... Sorry, my cat's messing with shit. So there's characters I thought that didn't get their due with that story, which is, you know, it's whatever. So it was less than a week after the movie's release, and the stories come out about Zach having to, you know, step away and Joss Whedon coming in. And immediately, I think it's 5 days after the movie comes out, a hashtag starts, release the Snyder Cut. So that starts trending. And as soon as that starts trending, I mean, people go nuts with it. There was even a billboard bought in Times Square for releasing the Snyder Cut. So... Sorry, my cat's trying to get in my damn closet. So that happens, and like this hashtag's been around for 2 years now. So after 2 years of this hashtag going around, it's I actually read this article in the Hollywood Reporter that explains that in November of last year, in 2019, one of the execs at Warner Brothers gives Zach and Deb a call and says, is this something that you would be interested in? Is this something that's feasible, something that's possible, something that could happen? Granted, Zach and his wife are finishing up a show for Netflix called Army of the Dead, and they agreed. They said, yeah, it'd definitely be something we're interested in too. If we can come up with the right amount of money and figure out logistics and how we're going to do it and what's going to happen, then yeah, can you give us a couple months to figure shit out and finish our other stuff and do whatever? And of course they said yeah. So that happens. Fast forward to the pandemic. So the pandemic happens. We're talking end of February, mid-March is actually when things start shutting down, as you all know. And what happens is Zach goes to Warner Brothers and says, okay, well, fuck, there's no way we can do it now. Like, there's all these, effects and all this stuff we have to do, and there's still green screen, and because he has plans of he already had plans. He's going to put Darkseid in this movie. It's going to be 4 parts. He originally wanted it to be longer with cliffhangers and different things and all this stuff, whatever. So he had, a big idea for it. So they go, no, actually, the post-production houses that they utilize actually don't have any work because there's nothing being filmed. So it'd be a perfect time actually to go through, and because they can really focus on all the green screen After Effects that they need. So Warner Brother tells them, full steam ahead. Yes, we're actually 100% going to do this. So then rumors start happening because as these post-production houses start, doing these effects and everything, rumors kind of start, and then stuff happens. I mean, a while back, Kevin Smith even came out and he was talking about how, yeah, it exists. I know it exists. And that fueled the fire even further. So to announce it, I'm not sure if it was exactly on the 2-year anniversary, but 2 years later, they finally announced that they're going to release it. It's going to be on HBO Max. Now, it will be for 2021. And Zach said they're not sure if it's going to be his 4-hour cut he has on his hard drive and his Avid cut, or if it could be a 6-part series, which I'm not sure what I want. I'm not sure if I want one big long movie, because I definitely don't want him to cut anything. I want him to fully flush out the story he thinks needs to be told and have the correct pacing and everything. But maybe a 6-part series would be pretty cool. Granted, you would have to put that in place of the movie. So, when you're watching Man of Steel and you'd watch Batman vs. Superman, you'd then have to watch the Snyder cut to get the full story. It would eventually nullify that movie. That cut would still exist, and of course we'd all own it and everything, but it would completely replace that movie. He seems real happy about it. That article he was in the Hollywood Reporter where he was talking about it, he seemed really upbeat and really happy about it, and it's going to be halfway dedicated to something they finished during family tragedy and dedicate it to their daughter and all this stuff. I mean, immediately got support from everyone. Ben Affleck came out. The actor that played Cyborg came out. I mean, everyone's coming out and supporting this and saying, yes, we want to see Zach's vision to fruition. We want to actually see what's happening. So I'm getting 1,000 ads about when HBO Max comes out. But I do know for a fact that the tentative date is literally just 2021. That's all they're saying. which is good enough for me. It means it's next year. It's whatever, but that gives them plenty of time. I would imagine plenty of time to finish Army of the Dead, and then fully give this his full attention. Now, I know they had to go through and reach like budgeting and different stuff like that. So that's all. I mean, that's already been greenlit, and right now the speculation is 20 to 30 million. It'll be 20 to 30 million to finish it. Now, I'm not sure how they're going to flip a streaming app, which they said, they were, some of the execs in the article were saying that there's no way they could have done this 2 years ago. This is not something you would do and release to theaters. You wouldn't re-release a movie to theaters. This is, however, in this day and age with streaming apps, something that is completely feasible, and they're happy to do. Which I'm happy to fucking watch. So I'm completely happy with that. But I'm pretty sure HBO Max. I want to say it's May 27th. Now the way that's going to work is, when I was looking through the fine print, my brother actually sent me a message about the fine print saying that if you currently already have HBO, you get HBO Max included. Which, if that's totally true, there's no free trial or limit or something like that. If that's 100% true, then that's pretty awesome, actually. Like, if there really is just a completely free with your subscription, that's pretty cool. That way, if you already have it on, DirecTV or Comcast or Sling or whatever have you, you'd go ahead and get it automatically included. I'm just going to straight Google it. HBO Max release date. I just don't want to give wrong information. Pretty sure it's 27th. Release date. Yeah, May 27th. It launches May 27th, 2020. It's $15 a month. If you pre-order it now, I think it ends up being like $11 a month or $11.99 a month. One of those two. Because I keep seeing ads for it. So it's definitely one of those two. But I'm still absolutely freaking excited. DC is my preferred comic book. I love the Marvel movies. I mean, I like comic book movies. I like comic book movies regardless. But when I'm having to read one, or I even love the DC animated universe. That universe is so good, and they're getting ready to end it actually, which is sad. But I love those movies just as much as I love like the Marvel movies. But they did a really, really good job with the Marvel movies, as you know. But my preferred one is DC. I just like DC characters a little more. Because honestly, when I was growing up, it was Marvel to me was X-Men and Spider-Man. Like, that was Marvel. Like, yeah, I knew Thor. No, I didn't know anyone who read Thor. As far as the Avengers go, Spider-Man and Wolverine were in the Avengers. Like, that was the Avengers I knew. So when of course, Captain America, you have to know Captain America. It's Superman. And then Iron Man, kinda. I always thought that was a knockoff of Batman. So I was just like, oh, a rich guy builds a suit that makes him powerful. Okay, yeah, that sounds familiar. Just related to Batman more, obviously. But the Hulk, everyone knew the Hulk. Wolverine and the Hulk fight all the time. But the Marvel Universe as we know it now is just like some other characters that I didn't really care for until the movies came out. DC was more that realm. So when the Justice League movie was announced, I was like, oh, finally we're going to get it, even though I knew it wasn't given the due diligence it deserves. Like, their full well should have been, I think, Man of Steel. I think it should have been Batman, then possibly Man of Steel 2 with a tease of Batman, then Wonder Woman, and then it should have done Cyborg and the Flash, maybe the Flash first, and then went through and really flushed them out. Aquaman, because the Wonder Woman movie was really good. Aquaman movie was really good. And I'm hoping this standalone Batman movie is really good, even though that's another deal. And then they add the Joker in, which is, another, it's its own separate universe, which is just like, okay. And then you have the extended one with Suicide Squad, which I'm glad we're getting James Gunn's Suicide Squad sequel. I'm really happy about that. That's a lot of S's in a row right there. But no, I'm really excited to see a fully fledged, flushed out, with the studios hands off, um, actors backing Zach to do exactly what he wants to do. I'm kind of hoping for a 6-part series. Give me a month and a half of that. Release it every week. Give me a month and a half. It'd be crazy. He did say some characters he planned on possibly dying. I'm not sure, so I'm not sure where he's going with it. Seems like he jumped to the end real quick. He jumped to Endgame in like 3 or 4 movies. But no, I'm excited. I'm excited. There's tons of potential, and even if it's not mind-blowingly amazing, it's kind of mind-blowingly amazing that we actually got it, in my opinion. Like, it's kind of fucking crazy we actually got the Snyder Cut, because that never happens. I will say there is now a new hashtag going around, and I cannot remember the director's name, but the director for the Suicide Squad, his movie was kind of hijacked because he had more of a darker tone movie as well, correlating with the whole Snyder universe. And when the trailer was cut for Suicide Squad, it was such a massive success that everyone got so excited that Warner Brothers actually allowed that edit house, whatever it is, that company, to actually create their own edit or help with the edit with Suicide Squad. And they pretty much merged the two without the director's permission, because he didn't have final say on the movie. So that's why you get that weird tonal shift in Suicide Squad. And now there's calls to release his cut of the movie, which does exist. Because he's completely submitted that film, and then they went through and messed with it afterwards. So I think that one would be even easier if they release his cut, because they could literally, I cannot talk today. They could literally just call it Suicide Squad. Now, I know there's an extended version, which I've not seen yet, which I heard had a little more Joker in it, but I've heard just call it the director's cut, and then you have the real version of the movie, the way it's supposed to be. And I really hope that Warner Brothers going forward, since they had success with Wonder Woman and then Aquaman, I really hope they back the fuck off these directors. Because it seems like every time the directors go in, they're like, we have these ideas for these characters, and we're going to do this to compete with the Marvel Universe. And they go in and fuck with it, and it's just like, no, leave the creatives to their job. Let them do their whole thing. Like, quit messing with it. So, anyways, I'm excited. That was 21 minutes of me talking about the Snyder Cut. So hopefully you got some good information out of that, guys. I cannot wait till 2021. I cannot wait to see this. I cannot wait to get more information. I can't even wait to see the stuff that DC has coming out. I can't wait to see the new Suicide Squad. I can't wait to see the new Batman. I can't wait to see, of course, the Snyder Cut. And I really hope the Suicide Squad cut gets something good happening with it. So, all right, guys. Moving on. All right, moving on and moving on and moving on and moving on. All right. So, PlayStation, um, they released their intro screen. Sorry, I'm trying to get the exact the correct information up here for you guys. Okay, so PlayStation is now they've kind of combined what used to be Sony Interactive Entertainment Worldwide Studios. They put their teams together, and now they have a new logo and a new, much shorter name, PlayStation Studios. It's literally the PlayStation logo with studios below it. But they do have a new animation that they released that's going to be the PS5 opening animation. And it's if you've seen the Marvel intro, it's literally that, but PlayStation where it shows like Drake from Uncharted and Ratchet and Clank and God of War. Well, oh fuck, the God of War. But it shows that, and then it has like the X square triangle. Well, actually, I think it's cross. It's not actually X. I think it's cross, triangle, square, circle. And then it shows like their characters, and then boom, it says PlayStation Studios. I know that they've already had the PlayStation Studios logo. It'll also be featured on disc and game packaging. So get ready to see that everywhere you go. Senior Vice President, was it Eric Lempel? Is that his name? Yeah. He's head of global marketing at Sony Interactive Entertainment, which is now Sony Studios, or PlayStation Studios. He tells, who is this I'm reading? The game industry. The animation will appear before games and trailers. So there's going to be that. So that we've been thinking about how we unite all of these great games under one brand. And really the purpose of that is to make the consumer understand that when they see this brand, they're getting ready for a robust, innovative, deep experience that they've come to expect from games coming from PlayStation. That was Eric Lempel, the Vice President and Head of Global Marketing at PlayStation. Oh, it is cross. Yeah, it is. Oh, it's the people on it. It's Nathan Drake from Uncharted, Aloy from Horizon Zero Dawn, Kratos from God of War, Ratchet and Clank. But yeah, it looks like the Marvel intro. So, I mean, I guess that's a thing that they're going to be having now. I guess it's just a new way instead of Sony Interactive, blah 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 blah, all that kind of stuff. So, I mean, that's not too bad. Now these are going to be all of the Sony developed PS5 games. So anything in their studio wheelhouse is now under the umbrella of PlayStation Studios, which is cool. I mean, Xbox kind of consolidated their stuff. They have like 13 studios. I think PlayStation has like 12 or something, or somewhere around there. So I guess they're just consolidating their stuff and making everything a little bit easier to get around and all that. So, I mean, I guess that's pretty cool. Next bit of news. Halo 2 Anniversary. It's on PC now, so you can go get it. Previously, that wasn't in the Master Chief Collection for PC, so I think that was like the last little missing puzzle, because I'm pretty sure Reach jumped on PC pretty quick, and the rest of the games are on there. So, I mean, that's pretty cool, though. If you guys like Halo 2 Anniversary, which I highly recommend, because Blur Studios went through and redid the cutscenes for that, and they're just phenomenal. There's some people that did the Halo 1 remaster. Phenomenal job. I mean, it still holds up, still looks great. It's absolutely ridiculous the way it looks. I absolutely love it. It's great. Yeah, that's available now. So if you guys, I'm pretty sure if you own the Master Chief Collection, you can go through and pick that up and get it downloaded. It probably has an update for you anyway once you go on there. So, shouldn't be too big of one. All right, moving on again. I'm gonna blast cut my new stuff real quick, just because I don't want this to be too long. I went way too long on the Snyder cut stuff. I didn't want to blast another hour and a half episode. I want to keep it under an hour, possibly under 45 minutes, to be honest with you. Phil Spencer. He was talking. He's been interviewed by several people. He's head of Xbox right now, and he's been doing a great job. I really appreciate the job he's been doing. He's been getting a lot of questions about how games are going to be affected, different stuff like that, because a lot of games that are coming out now, more or less to the end of the year, are okay. Everything coming out for holidays okay. It's games that were going to be slated to be first quarter, second maybe even second quarter, but more first quarter of 2021. So let's just say the first half is what he was actually quoted saying. The first half of 2021, they might be affected. And you might ask, like, well, why? It's computers, can work from home, motion cap. Any games that have motion cap, and then you have things like your soundtracks. There's no 20-piece orchestras getting together to do a soundtrack for games right now. It's just not able to do, and that's not something you can remotely do. He was saying like it's just impossible. You need to be people in a room and get it recorded on location, everything like that. And then motion cap, it's just something that's impossible to do. Now that things are starting to open up, it's okay, but I mean, we're talking 2.5 months of lost time. And not to mention, not everything's fully open, they're not allowed to do, and there's still social distancing rules in place. So it could be until the end of June, maybe July, that they're going to get people back into these mocap suits, which, I mean, that's a 4 or 5 month delay on things, which exponentially hurts the process because those companies don't know what kind of trouble they're going to get into when they go into a debugging process or go into testing or, go into any kind of playability test or anything like that. They're going to get hit because that's a variable time they usually give, but you don't know what's going to happen once you start putting pieces together. Once you start taking pieces from, okay, these guys are doing the artwork, these guys are doing the legwork, these guys are doing 3D work, skeletons, they got the animations, the voice work, the sound. Because the sound design is massive in a game. And you start putting those things together and you're not sure how it's going to last. Not to mention you don't even have your full assets in there. You don't even have your full motion cap in there. You don't have your actors in there. You don't have the voice acting in there. You don't have that in there. So that could really hurt games that we would have heard about E3. I imagine games that they would have had the mocap done by then and stuff we could have heard at E3, which should be coming up in the next couple weeks if it was still happening. So he said he's hoping that teams can work fast enough or efficient enough to where they don't stress out their people, but they can actually efficiently still get games out around the time they want to, seeing as how we have a new generation launch this year, which is huge. Now, granted, your launch games come out, but you hit that first quarter, you're getting into next summer, and people are still hitting on your launch titles. It's like, okay, well, what are your launch titles? Now, granted, Xbox has the plus on their backwards compatibility just being phenomenal right out of the gate. So you're just going to be able to play your games better, faster on the new system, which is good. And you'll have your new games up-res, like Cyberpunk. If you buy it for Xbox One, you'll get the Xbox Series X version for free day one on Xbox Series X. So you'll get the full next-gen version of it for free. So that's kind of cool. It's kind of a weird forward compatibility type of thing. But, and plus you'll have games, you'll have your Last of Us 2 and Ghost of Tsushima, which is actually coming out soon, which I'm hoping would be backwards compatible, but they've not talked about it for PS5. As far as PS4 backwards compatibility, which you would imagine it would just be a one-to-one in this day and age. It'd just be like, hey, all your PS4 games, just put your disc in the PS5 and it works. But there's no complete confirmation on that. So if you have your launch titles, let's just say end of November, holiday season, for your PS5 and your Xbox Series X, you gotta go another 6 months. It's like, what the fuck? That sucks. So I'm not sure what's going to happen, but he expressed serious concern that he's seen that because of COVID-19 that the hardest hit is going to be the first half of next year. But depending on how we come out of this, it could be it could be sooner, or not as bad as expected. There will 100% be some delays on things as expected, and I certainly will be okay with that. No one will be too pissed off that they were forced not to work and then they can't, because social distancing, they can't work. So I don't know. But it's just nice to hear an actual head of company finally come out and express, like, you know what, it might fuck us up. We're playing it by ear. We're just going to try to be as transparent as possible. So hopefully not. Hey! Hey! Hey, guys! Hey! 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 Oh, okay, I made it. You're not gonna believe this, but I'm re-recording my sponsor ad. Yep, this is a sponsor. This is gonna be for Anchor. You guys have probably heard my old Anchor thing, and I didn't like it anymore, so guess what? I'm re-recording it. And you guys already know what Anchor is if you're listening to my podcast, because if you haven't heard about Anchor, it's the easiest way to make a podcast. Let me explain. It's free. I'm doing it for free right now. I did it for free the other day. I did it for free 2 weeks ago. It's all free all the time. There's creation tools that allow you to record and edit your podcast right from your phone, like me, or your computies. If you want to go on your computer and do a little more to it, you can. But I have no problem doing it all on my phone. Anchor will distribute your podcast for you. They do. I know. It can be here on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Google Play, iHeartRadio, everything. I went through a couple channels. Anchor helped me out a lot. Them creating an RSS feed was life-changing for podcasts. You can make money from your podcast with no minimum listenership. No minimum listenership is what the hell I'm trying to say. You can do that. No problem. You can have 17 people like me, or 100 people, sometimes like me, or even more people. You know, me, Joe Rogan. Same type, same thing. It's everything you need to make a podcast. So please go download the Anchor app. You can also listen to podcasts on the Anchor app too and be very interactive. It's not just for making your own podcast. And you can even hook up and leave comments and send messages to your favorite creators. Here's the way you do it. You either download the Anchor app, like I said before, or you go to anchor.fm on your computers, your Apples, your PCs, whatever. That's all you have to do. Go do it. All right, keeping the news rolling. And mind you, this is this news that I thought people would want to hear. Stuff I thought that was interesting to me that I was just like, oh shit, that's pretty cool. Because there's just some slow news on some systems. Like, you know, Nintendo popped out a zinger for us at the last minute, but, you know, it's slim pickings. Gamescom. They were, you know, last episode talked about they were canceled. They have a digital event, not just a singular event, but Gamescom digitally. It'll be August 27th through the 30th. So they're going to have release announcements, all that kind of stuff. It's going to be completely free to watch, which is nice because Gamescom is one of those things where we have the last couple of years been getting certain things like live, like they'll stream something at Gamescom Live, stuff like that. But I think this is going to be a fully online endeavor based on what they've said. And the fact they're saying it's free to watch, because usually it would be you have to pay or you have to be part of the press. So I'm pretty sure Gamescom is in Germany, so you would have to do all that kind of stuff. So pretty much we'd have to wait over here and have news filtered over or see what the companies release on their social media and everything. Well, this is all going to be little live events they're going to have, and completely digital, and they said it's free to watch. So I'm kind of excited if Gamescom can turn into like an E3 event where I can get more and more. I mean, it kind of already is. It's bigger. There's a lot more people at Gamescom. So the more transparency and the more I can see faster is always better. But like I said, it's going to be all digital. Of course, there's not going to be any kind of actual event physically. So I imagine on their website, they're just going to start pumping out releases and doing different things to garner traffic towards them, to make up for the fact that they're not having an actual full event. So that's pretty cool. So I'm glad Gamescom is still technically on. I know E3 is technically kind of off, and the studios are just doing their own thing. Segue to Ubisoft. They've announced their E3 showcase is going to be July 12th. And I have a weird thing with Ubisoft. Ubisoft has a really, 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 really fucking bad reputation of showing awesome fucking shit that's not the game. You know, with like, oh, this is this is in engine gameplay, but everything else is simulated. Like the biggest one I can think of besides The Division is probably Watch Dogs. That first Watch Dogs trailer was just like, holy fucking shit, this is a new era of video games. This is crazy. The interactive ability, is that a word? Of what you could do with the world. I mean, the trailer was showing how you could like hack people's phones and then go to an ATM and clear out their bank account. I mean, of course it was too good to be true, but you thought it was true. Like they claimed everything was true, everything in the trailer could do in the game. Of course it wasn't the case. You can go watch a Watch Mojo or you know, something on YouTube where it shows a comparison of E3 announcement from Ubisoft to what the actual fucking game is. I mean, Ubisoft has done some great things. I love the South Park games, and I love all the Tom Clancy things they've done, you know, different stuff like that. But they have a really bad reputation of doing that. The Division was another one where the world was super detailed and they portrayed it, and it had a HUD and everything. And it was like, this is what the game will look like. And of course it had like scripted actors, you know, doing like, you know, like you're playing co-op online, to make it a little more dramatic, which I kind of expected. It was whatever. And then you cut to the game and you're just like, oh, it's just textures on textures. Like it's not anywhere near what they showed. And granted, they're saying these are console. This is what it's going to look like on your console. It's not like, oh, this is PC max settings. This is your console. You will play this on Xbox. You will play this on PlayStation. This is what it'll look like. This is our game. They've done it plenty of times. So when it comes to an Ubisoft E3 thing, I just kind of take it with a grain of salt, and I'm just like, okay, is this really gonna be good? Who the fuck knows? Because they've always done that kind of shit, and it's always kind of fucking annoyed me. But I wouldn't mind them announcing something crazy new. I really highly doubt they'd have like a South Park game or something there, like a third one or something. I haven't even heard anything about that, even though I love those games. But they announced weird shit. I mean, I'm pretty sure they did the Mario Rabbids game, and that was a crazy ass fucking announcement that turned out to be awesome. But no, they're going to be their quote unquote E3. So I guess, I mean, Ubisoft has had some really bad guests, like and like stage shows and very corny stuff. They're going to show their Just Dance stuff and, you know, whatever. That's cool and everything, but their event now, their E3 showcase is what they're calling it. Because I know it's not going to be live people in a theater, so it's just probably going to be maybe trailers. Probably just going to be like I think Nintendo Direct was ahead of their time, because that's now what everyone's fucking doing. Have a guest host or something, and he's just going to introduce trailers, or he or she is going to introduce trailers, and then that's going to be it. So that's going to be July 12th, which is kind of late, because E3 is always in June, so it's just like, wow, you guys got another month to put this together. But also, I mean, they needed time to plan stuff out. So I don't know. I don't know how short notice it was. I don't know if they already had their showcase done and they just had to go through and get a studio and record video and get it all set up or whatever or what. But I don't know. Hopefully it's pretty good. I mean, Ubisoft is a big-ass fucking studio, so I'm hoping they do something good. Going forward to Microsoft. They just had their little showcase, and it was lackluster to say the least. The games were great. There's some games in there that just look fucking awesome. But the big thing that everyone wanted, because it wasn't a big first party release, it wasn't a big like, these are our launch titles, this is Halo 6. It wasn't that, but it was like, hey, we are going to show Assassin's Creed gameplay. And so for the new Assassin's Creed game, and so I was like, okay, this is going to be great. It's going to be great. And they had some really cool games. There's the first one. Sorry, I didn't get the name of it. I'm trying to remember exactly what it was. I had it written down, but because it was really good actually. This one, something Infinity. Showcase event, yeah, it's May 7th. Okay, yeah, here we go. Yada yada yada. Yeah, they're supposed to show the gameplay for Assassin's Creed Valhalla. And I kind of wish they'd list the games that were all announced, because I'm like, oof. Because like some of them were actually really cool. They had one that was very Giger, HR Giger kind of implied. Oh, they actually have photos? How's there photos? There's nothing there. Man, there's one game I really want to. I don't know. Anyways, there's. Oh, here we go. Oh no, those are possible reveals. Oh yeah, they released that. They're not going to have this logo on any game that you're going to. It's going to be what's called Xbox Series X Optimize. And there's going to be like this little badge that's going to appear on the games to show if it's optimized for Xbox Series X, meaning like if you get Cyberpunk 2077, it's going to be optimized for Series X, which means like when you get your Series X, it'll automatically just download the necessary components for it to be the Series X version, which is nice. You know, I hope they do more games like that, which will be great. And that's a huge get for Cyberpunk or whatever. That's great. But oh man, I cannot find the list of these games. I'm sorry, guys. Yeah, the game showcase. The big story of it, the big takeaway is that they were supposed to show gameplay. They did not. And then even afterwards, after the actual trailers and everything and their little presentation, they had this kind of like little mock interview thing that was part of the showcase that had them interview, and like right afterwards the guy's like, wait a minute, talking to the host. He goes, did I just see Assassin's Creed Valhalla gameplay? And he goes, yes, you did. It wasn't though. Gameplay to me and to obviously everyone else on the planet is you show what the game looks like while you're playing it. I mean, the HUD, the whole fucking nine, everything. And they didn't do that. What they did was they showed in-game footage, which is what you would see if you're in the game. How the game is going to look final product. Like the background or the ships or other stuff that is part of a trailer. And they were touting it as gameplay. And it 110 fucking 1,000% wasn't. I rewatched it like 3 times thinking like maybe it was in there, and I was just like, why does it keep saying gameplay? This is not gameplay. So they got a lot of shit for that. They came out and said, you know, hey, we're sorry for lackluster, yada yada. And because some of the other games they actually showed a little bit of gameplay, which was kind of nice. But they were kind of like, some of them were technically indie games. The very first game was created completely by one guy by himself that they showcased. Even though it looked amazingly fucking cool. I'm just trying to remember what the hell that name was. Something Infinity. No. There it is, trailers. Oh, there it is. Bright Memory Infinite. It was a one person team, so it's not really a team. It's Bright Memory, but it's not called Infinite. It's super fucking weird, frenetic, challenging combination of shooter, superpowers, melee. You have fucking sword, guns, you can drive. Like it just, the trailer's absolutely worth watching. It looks absolutely crazy. Now, Bright Memory is already on PC. So there's that, but Infinite's going to be Series X, which is going to be great. They showed off Dirt 5, whatever. They showed off Scorn, which is the Giger looking, it's like alien type of game. It looks, I mean, I thought it was Aliens because of the art style and the look and everything. It looked like Aliens. It looked pretty great. I'm pretty excited to actually play that. Chorus, they showed Chorus, which is cool. It's a space arcade shooter. It looks really cool, actually. More aliens and all that kind of stuff. Of course, they had this weird little thing with Madden and NFL 21, which is good. Vampire the Masquerade's Bloodlines 2, which is cool because I actually remember playing Vampire the Masquerade, the tabletop game, with my friends. I never got a chance to play the first one because I just didn't hear great things. I had a couple other games, but the big one was literally the fact that Assassin's Creed Valhalla didn't have gameplay. So they're announcing that like the next time that they say gameplay, they're going to actually mean gameplay, which actually segues into them. Their next announced event, which I don't know if they're even going to have an E3 thing because they didn't announce anything like that. What they said was Microsoft is going to have their first party showcase, and it's going to happen in July. It's basically what they were going to show at Gamescom and somewhat E3 mixed. So this is a first party showcase. What they were going to do at E3, I'm guessing, is reveal price and different things like that. So they're touting this as exclusively a first party showcase, which is, I'm hoping, going to be their launch lineup. I'm hoping we're going to see whatever they're doing with any kind of Gears title for Series X, if anything, if they're bringing something over, if Tactics is coming from PC over. Halo 6, of course, is the number one thing I want to see. I want to confirm a new Forza, because I'd be shocked if they didn't have Halo and then Forza on the Series X day one. Like, I'd be shocked. There's a lot of these things I want to see. And they announced that's going to be in sometime in July. So hopefully that works out. I don't know. I'm still waiting to see what PlayStation is going to do too. I'm hoping that they announce some kind of price system or something. So, all right, here comes some more news. Here comes some more news. All right, so Mafia. I don't know if you guys are fans of Mafia. I am. The first one I've never played. It was mainly PC. Didn't get a chance to play a lot of PC games when I was younger. Did a lot of LAN parties, but not a lot of PC games. Did play Mafia 2. Loved it because it was on a friend's console because they got it while it was free with Games of Gold. So I played Mafia 2, loved it. That was cool. Like, you had to get gas in your car. I don't know, that little detail. I always liked that detail. I thought that was kind of cool. So Mafia 2. The trilogy's all going to be out for Xbox One, essentially Series X. But Mafia 3 you can get now, which is already an Xbox One game. I don't highly recommend it. They completely detour. It doesn't really have anything to do with the first two games, except it's Mafia. But it has to do with, like, you're in the South and you're a totally different guy. It's not the Italian Mafia. It's just different. The first two specifically they specifically are the same place and the same people, and the stories interchange, which is really cool. Like, one of the missions you play in the second game is actually the ending of the first game. Like, well, it's like an after credit thing that happens, kind of, not really after credit, but the end of the game of the first one is just a mission in the second one. I thought that was so fucking cool. But the news here is that, as you know, Mafia 3 is already out for Xbox One. Mafia 2 got remastered, which I recommend playing. But I would hold off on that, even though Mafia 2 remaster's out now. I would hold off on that because Mafia 1 is getting a complete remake. Not remaster, remake. Like the Resident Evil games are remakes, not a remaster. Not like, here now it's in better frame rate and better this and all the DLC. No, a complete remake of Mafia 1. And that's going to come out on August 28th, and I'm pretty excited about that because that's a cool series I wouldn't mind going back and playing. And it's going to be weird going from a complete remake from a game that comes out in 2020 to, even though it's remastered, I mean, Mafia 2 came out I don't think it was 2010. I think Mafia 1 came out 2010. But it's been a minute. So you're definitely going to take a little bit step back. Probably as far as graphically and everything goes, you're probably going to take a little step back and everything, but which is kind of whatever. But no, I'm excited about that. Mafia 1 complete remake, August 28th. Speaking of complete remakes, Tony Hawk 1 and 2 is going to be available in September. And for some reason, the news story was they announced that there's not going to be any microtransactions when the game releases, which I don't understand why they had to put when the game releases in there, because if there's not going to be any microtransactions, period, just say this game doesn't contain any microtransactions. But for some reason, they specifically put at launch. Like, it's just like, okay, I don't know why you guys had to do that. That makes me kind of suspicious. I don't expect Tony Hawk to be a game I spend microtransactions on. I mean, like, I don't really care too much about how my character is crazy looking, like, unless there's crazy new multiplayer. I'm not sure. I am excited to play it, though. I did hear it was $40, but I'm hearing it's popping up on stores for $60, so I'm not 100% sure on the price of those two. I know it's going to be somewhere in the realm, but Tony is on full tour mode as far as promoting the game, even though it's pretty decently ways out. But the developers were talking about how they went out of their way to make sure that the jumps felt the same if you had any kind of muscle memory from the old games. How tricks felt more smooth, but like your muscle memory could kick in, like I said, and you could just play the games, pick it up. The game looks great, but it should. I mean, it's 2020. It shouldn't look like shit, like, comparative to what it used to look like. So I've been watching videos of it, and it looks great. They got the complete soundtrack back, so they're just hitting that spiral right down the middle for the nostalgia factor. That's what they want. I think that's why they're including 1 and 2. So you get that school level from 2, and get like the classic canyon and the mall and shit from 1, and all that kind of stuff or whatever. But here's my thing, though, with games like Skate being out, which is what I always wanted from Tony Hawk. I wanted more realistic. Like, I wanted to feel like I was skating, do tricks I couldn't do, and that's all you had at the time. So you played Tony Hawk. And then when Skate came out, I was like, fuck Tony Hawk. Not him, but the game. Like, I don't want an arcade game where I can do 10,000 kickflips and spin up the Eiffel Tower and shit like that. Like, I just want it to look real when I, kickflip 5-0 down some fucking stairs or something. And they have games, because right now they have Session coming out. And then they have Skater XL coming out, which both look like Skate clones. Not really clones, but what Skate 4 should have been. Even though Skate 4 is probably never going to come out, even though I really wish it would. And then you have, Tony Hawk Remaster 1 and 2, which will be great for nostalgia. I still want to play them. I want to see what I think about when I play them. So hopefully there's a free play weekend, or I can go rent it at a Family Video or a Redbox or something and see what I think before I throw down. Definitely not $60, but maybe $40. I could think about it, something like that. And eventually it drops to $30. I could think about it. But the nostalgia is definitely there. I just don't know how I feel, if it feels the same or if it's something I want to pursue. Because me and my friends really played it to get the skate videos. Because if you remember, you could unlock like real skate videos of like real skaters. And that's all I wanted to do. I wanted to watch skate videos. And when those games came out, the internet wasn't prevalent. I mean, we're talking like it was there, but there was no YouTube. I mean, there was no. I mean, I played on PS1. I had no internet, so it wasn't like I could just watch a skate video. I would literally had to go to a local skate park, or randomly in a town in Indiana there was a mall that had a Fear store. I don't know if you remember Fear brand, like clothes and stickers and shit like that. They had a full store, and they sold skate videos and stuff. So I'd buy those videos or see them where I could, and that's how you'd watch, video parts. You had to actually go buy the damn thing. But if I had on Tony Hawk, I had skate parts on there I could watch. That wasn't in a magazine, so like it was awesome. I'd watch those videos all the fucking time. And then eventually, like Tony Hawk went to like Project 8. I mean, it did the Underground series, which was I played them all. And then it went to Project 8, which like you could slow down time and like use the sticks to control your feet and all that stuff. And that's when I was like, oh, this is what I want. And then of course Skate came out, and I was like, it's over. I want Skate forever. But that's coming out in September, and for some reason, like I said, they had to put a note in that there's no microtransactions. I'm like, okay, thank you for telling us that. I didn't plan on buying anything past the game anyway. But it is nice they're gonna have the soundtrack, and that documentary came out. I think it's called "Pretending I'm a Superman," based on that song that plays in the game. So I really want to watch it and maybe play this. Tony Hawk HD did come out, but I think it might have been pulled from the store for licensing for like music and different kind of stuff or whatever. So I'm not sure the availability of that anymore. That was like a couple of years ago, but yeah, Tony Hawk completely remade 1 and 2 coming out in September, which I'm excited about. Like I said, just for the 14 reasons I just gave. And then my last little bit of news, random, because there's not been much in my realm. There's not been much positive Nintendo news, just because there's not been much Nintendo news. And the only story that was written was there was an article written at IGN about Joy-Con drift and how it's still a thing, and how, they've ran polls and numbers of how like an upwards of 50 to 75% of people have experienced or still experience Joy-Con drag or Joy-Con drift, specifically with their left one. Now apparently there's ways you can fix it. You can clean out under your joystick and different stuff like that. So I'm not sure of the validity of that, but I know now with COVID that their repair factories or wherever they were repairing these at are shut down. And if you call Nintendo support, they say that there's no timeline that they have of when they're going to reopen or anything. So your only option is... Oh. There we go. Sorry. I'm not sure how much it blocked out. If I switch out of the app to read anything and the screen goes black, it does not record. Anyways, so I'm not really sure like I said, with COVID-19, Nintendo said that they're not sure when their repair factories or repair stations or whatever they have there they're closed, and there's no time that they're coming back, so they're not sure. So if you still have this Joy-Con drift problem, there's no repair except for to buy another set of Joy-Cons, and then hopefully those don't go out too soon. The consensus is that the Joy-Cons go out no matter what. Even if you buy new ones, they'll eventually wear down. The Joy-Con drift starts to happen, something happens. And of course everyone's going to say, we'll buy a Pro Controller. Yes, but that's not the point. This should still work, especially 3 years after the systems came out. It should just be something like that. So that's been like really the only Nintendo news I've heard that's been somewhat prevalent, where it's like, well, that's not really great. Then they randomly announce Paper Mario Origami King. And it's like, okay. Now, everyone who has a PlayStation knows about Ghost of Tsushima is coming out. Well, they announced that Paper Mario Origami King is coming out the same fucking day. Which I'll find out. Okay. Oh, it says July 17th. How's it already getting rated? Anyways, it comes out July 17th. Wait, is that the same day? Is that the same day of Ghost of Tsushima? Ghost? Oh, it's just me. Yeah, it is. Yeah, July 17th. So, they're coming out the same day. And they just announced it. And they had a really cool trailer that, like, just smashed. And kind of excited. Like, I didn't get a chance. My friend Ryan did let me borrow, which I still have, the SNES Mini, which has Mario RPG, which I've been planning on playing for so fucking long. I need to get on it because I want to play it. Because I love RPGs, love Mario. I don't know how it cannot be good. Even though I've heard some of the Paper Marios is like the next Mario RPG, like the extension of that, and that like Thousand Year Door and all that kind of stuff are games that I should play over the first one. But I have the first one here, so I might as well try to play it. But yeah, and everyone, the trailer's getting good reviews as far as just like what it shows, what they're saying. At the end, there's a little Easter egg about, it shows Mario wearing a Samus helmet from Metroid. So there's like talks like, holy shit, maybe that's a tease that we're going to get something announced during the next big direct for Metroid, which would be really cool. I'm really hoping they put the Prime series on some kind of collection because I've not got a chance to play those. I've not got a chance to go back and play those, and I really want to play those really bad because I want to see what all the hype's about. So I'm hoping they announce something like that. But no, it's kind of funny that they have it the same day of Ghost because I'm not sure the broad appeal of Ghost of Tsushima because I've not heard any buzz from it from any friends or anything like that. Even my PlayStation owners are just like, oh yeah, it exists. It's an exclusive, so they're going to check it out. But I've not heard anything like, oh, it's an end-all be-all. Or there's this mechanic that I have to have or something. So I'm not sure. And with the way Paper Mario is, the last game wasn't perceived awesomely well. Now, the only gripe I've heard about this game is that the way of combat for this game is that there's going to be like a weapons wheel, and you're going to be able to turn your enemies to try to line them up before you do an attack and all this kind of stuff, whatever. And some people kind of express concern, like, well, maybe that could get kind of old because what Nintendo does in the majority of their games is they come up with a mechanic and they build a game around that mechanic. That's something that you do in that game. Like this game, this is kind of the mechanic, like Legend of Zelda. Cooking, the breaking of weapons, finding new weapons, kind of inventory management. That was kind of a deal with it. I think it was New Super Mario Brothers 2 for 3DS, like the coins, like, oh, there's a shit ton of fucking coins. So, like, the whole game, you're just collecting mountains and mountains of coins and doing your shit like that. Super Mario, what was it, 3D World? Like, the cat suit was a big deal. So, they built a lot of their levels around the cat suit and different stuff like that. So, there's a lot more examples in that. But they come up with mechanics or different gimmicks or whatever, and then they kind of build the game around that. So, I wonder if this wheel is going to be it. I'm kind of low-key excited, and I think I would be. Just because I wouldn't mind another reason to drag my Switch around, because I have games on it. I have a ton of games on it. I mean, I still have Skyrim on there, and I've technically never beat Skyrim. I bought it so many times, I just get lost. I probably have 300 hours in my Xbox version. I'm just like, I'll get to the main story later. I got so much side shit to do, and I'm riding dragons and building houses and shit. So there's stuff to get to, but I wouldn't mind another reason to pop that out, and pretty much anything Mario that's been on the system has been gold, so I'm super excited. Like, Mario Odyssey was just fucking phenomenal, so I'm really excited for that. But I just thought it was kind of funny that they're coming right out with right out of the gate at a major franchise exclusive versus Ghost of Tsushima exclusive on PlayStation. It's like, So, and then who knows? I mean, July 12th is that Ubisoft thing. I don't know if they're going to announce anything crazy. They're like, hey, Mario Rabbids 2 coming out July 17th. Fuck it. But I don't know. All right, that's what I got for you guys. Well, guys, I hope that was entertaining enough. I hope it was entertaining for you guys to listen to me kind of ramble off some facts and stuff. Hope you learned something you didn't already know from my voice and my dumb brain. I hope everyone's doing safe. I hope everyone's doing economically safe. I hope you guys aren't being hurt too hard with money situations. I know family and friends that are, so I hope you are not. Please try to be safe. Whatever country, whatever city, whatever state you're in, just try to be safe. Look out for you guys. Hope you guys are playing plenty of games. Please don't forget to go over on Twitch. I'm probably going to hop on and play some Spider-Man before bed. It'll be at twitch.com/Zarnold1985, ZARNOLD 1985, the numbers. Then I'm over at Mixer at mixer.com/AnotherCastleGaming. Hopefully I can switch over the URL for my Twitch to make it easier, or I'll just make a new one. But, hope you guys are getting some gaming in. Hope you guys are watching some great movies. Hope you're binging some nerd stuff, reading some comics, and all around enjoying your guys' company. Having to stay inside, or even if you're going to work. Hope you guys aren't trying, killing yourselves over there being stuck all together. So anyways, guys, I just want to let you know this is the only podcast where you can get to power up and win the game. I will talk to you guys soon. I say this every week that I'm going to do this more often, and I'm going to try to stick to it. So hopefully I'll have something to say here in the next week. So be safe.